Hello everybody, we're over here in Kennedy now fixing to do a bee removal. Over here got a little shop and I was mowing his yard and they started popping him a little bit. It's really hot. I'm going to try to do a bunch of this without messing around with the damn bee suit too much. Try to do as much of this thing as I can without it on. So we're fixing to get started here. I'm going to go in here and get everything set up and I'll catch y'all later. Alright, we're going to try to see what part of the wall is over here. I'll come back whenever I get into it. Probably going to run here or maybe over here. We'll see. Landowners decided they didn't want to see what it looks like when it cuts opened up. So, by myself again, I guess. Well, we're going to see. Hopefully they're just in this part right here. I'm going to cut this stud line down where these screws are, and we're going to see what I can't come up with.
You can see I'm wearing kind of baggy pants in this shot. It just kind of helps out with the bees not being able to sting through them. I was wearing tight pants in a video the other day, and it wasn't fun. They stung me quite a bit.
Now, most of the time, I like having a suit on, but it's so damn hot right now that I'd probably die. So I think I got a better chance with these bees than I do with anything else. Okay, yep. Alright, so they're over here, so I got some more work to do. I was hoping they were going to be behind this, but it looks like they're behind this piece right here. So I'm going to get that part off. I will return. Alright, we're going to get into this, see what they're all about. Hopefully they're not all too far neat. I don't got a veil on. I want to try to do as much of this removal without a veil. Maybe y'all see me get stung up a bit. If you're lucky. I know for some reason those videos are better than others. Well, we're good so far. Let's get smoke going. Give a wee bit of smoke. Oh yeah. Got bees. I'm gonna throw a veil on just to judge their temperature. Like I said, it never hurts. Have a little bit of protection. Even if it's not the right protection, we're going to put something on our head. Save the money maker, as it were. Right now we need a smoker. And let's do the reveal, the big reveal. There you have it, folks. There's the bees. I don't think they go up any further than this. That's not good. Piece of comb is hit the ground. That's not good. That's okay. They'll find their way. I'm going to try to be not too aggressive towards them. Have a quick once over for the queen. I'm real lucky I'll spot her right off the bat. Here. reminds me I need to get my clean clip out of my jacket over here. Wherever my jacket is. Alright, here's some pretty calm bees, you know, they're not really all that angry. Let me make sure you are getting a good look at this. They're not all the way down to the ground, but they're pretty nice bees. You can see they have a very large, this is all honey right here. All this right here is solid honey. And that's just amazing. This is all the brood pattern right here. Looks like there's brood, there's a little bit of eggs and larvae and stuff down here. This is comb that has gotten too hot and fallen down. But shoot, for the most part, I think we should have pretty good go. This is a lot of beautiful honey. I mean, that's amazing. So I'm gonna see if I can get the landowners in here and take a look at it. This is pretty cool. But they're really tame. I mean, unbelievable. I'm trying to do as much of this one with the suit. I usually always wear a suit. I'm going to try this one as much as I can without wearing a bee suit. I think we're still doing pretty good as far as that. Now once I start cutting this stuff, they might get a little bit antsy, but as for right now, I'm not getting any stingers. So we'll look at the landowner. We'll come back. All right, we're going to start cutting some of this comb out a little bit. Get it cleaned up some. Jacking around here. Just in case they go haywire. They're acting pretty good though. Always keep an eye out for the queen. Queen clip handy, hopefully. If she happens to show up, I'm going to grab her. I got a little bit of honey to trim. There is a queen in here because I see eggs. We'll get it all out of there. Some of them will maybe get a little bit pissy at me. We're going to see what we can do. I might just have to put a veil on. Hopefully not. We'll see. Things that says predator. I do not want to be a predator. I just want to be a nuisance. Right now I'm a nuisance and they're tolerating it, but if I start flailing around and killing bees, they're not going to tolerate me for very long. So they know I'm here. They are not super duper happy about it, but they're not at the point to where they're try to kill me. So I'm getting all that cleaned up. Get the alarm pheromones down as much as possible, and just start kind of cleaning some of this comb up. I gotta get the bee vac set up and probably plug this phone in. so I can start getting some of these bees out of my way, just so it's easier to work without crushing any, because that's when the stinging starts. All right, everybody, here's a close-up of what these girls look like. They go from right here all the way down. Pretty nice sized little hive. Got to get some of these bees out of my way, so I can start cutting this comb out right here all the way up, and get them out of here and get them headed back to the house, give them a new home. They're not wanted here, but the landowner came in without a suit or nothing. I'm sitting here working them without a suit. He looked at me. I said, "Come on in, ain't gonna hurt you." And he walked over here and took some pictures and stuff. And, you know, it's stuff like that. Most people don't get to see this stuff ever in their whole life, and it's just a blessing to change people's minds about bees. You know, they're not all evil trying to sting you every chance they get. They're just trying to make a living like the rest of us. All right, well, now I gotta set some of these bees up, get them out of the way. So just start sucking them up and gradually start working and getting a bunch of these out of the way, so I can start cutting some of this comb out of here. Okay, this is the boring part of a removal. Kind of, you just sit there and suck these up till you get the majority of them out of the way, and hopefully you kind of see the queen. It just helps it whenever you start cutting the comb down. You're not pinching, cutting, you know, killing bees, because then they get kind of aggravated. So we're gonna skip over to actually removing the comb. So this is the second kind of boring part, but the most important is getting the comb actually cut out in straight lines and getting it orientated into the frames without killing bees. This is where you'll make bees mad right here, because there's just a lot of them there, and on the back side it's just loaded with bees. So you try not to drop them and mash them and everything else. I'm trying to cut this stuff out pretty straight. This bottom piece actually had a lot of eggs in it, which I don't think I framed this one up. I probably should have, just in case something happened to the queen, which it did in this hive. Sadly, she didn't make it, but they had enough eggs. I think they're going to make them a new queen. So just kind of lining this comb up. It looks really crooked, but it's just the camera angle. I'm trying to get it as straight as possible. Also, I don't like framing up honey. You can see right here I'm cutting this comb down, getting it lined out, and then I'm going to take the honey off, because it just ants and everything else get into the hive, and it's just really messy. They actually do better on fresh off a cutout if they don't have any honey in there, because that honeycomb is really fragile and it'll melt quite a bit. So I always try to think of that. Less mess. I mean, if there's some nectar in this down there in the brood chamber, I'm not really worried about it, because they can move that around and feed off of it. Normally I feed them after a cutout anyway, so just taking my time here looking for the queen. See, on the back side there's a lot of bees right there, and most of the time the queen will be hanging out on the back side of one of those frames. And just again getting the bees out of the way. It's really important, the orientation of again the comb in the frames, because if it's a little bit crooked they won't accept it. And this is just stuff I've learned through doing multiple cutouts and them rejecting frames that I put in there because it's crooked or upside down or something crazy like that. Just experience. So as you can see, I'm cutting on it and trying to get it all framed up. There's quite a few bees here, and we're just gonna see if we can get them. The comb I was just cutting on just fell. Man, that always makes your heart skip a beat, because you don't know if the queen was on the back side. The bees get a little bit agitated, but they weren't too bad. I think I took a couple of stings at this point, but every time I got stung on this removal, it was my fault. I mean, I might have taken 20 or so stings underneath the arms and that, but it wasn't too bad. So I guess that's all of the brood comb there is to cut out on this one. So we're going to get into sucking the rest of these bees up and cutting this honey out. always, it's harder than it looks. They go up and they go over. The way this siding is, let me show you. The way this siding is on this building, there's not OSB, so there's cracks all right there where they can go in and out. And ooh, they're starting to get a little mad. Starting to get over there, so I got to pull all this stuff down. So far, got all the comb removed and everything. Took about 20 or 30 stings. Nothing too bad. I mean, in the arms, they're really tagging up my arms and stuff, but nothing too bad. Got about 5-gallon bucket of honey, but with this stuff, you can't never tell how far this goes over and up and everything else. So we're gonna try to figure out how far this rabbit hole goes here. Got the shelves down. I gotta finish clearing off this one little shelf here, and then we should be good to go. It is about 10:30. Still plugging away here, as always. Oh, they're only right here. There's a fire stop type of deal right here, so you figure they wouldn't go, but as you can see, there's a pretty good little crack in there for them to get into and everything. Ooh, we are just going to get dizzy with this video. Good Lord. So we're going to go ahead and get them out of there, and here's my mess I've made so far. Got some comb over there I hadn't framed up. This time of year, you know, save a little bit of it, but don't worry about it all because they're going down in population anyway, so they don't really need it. I just basically start them from square one and just feed them. So we are going to try to get this stuff figured out. Yet. All right. Getting down to the nitty-gritty here. These run up the wall. I gotta take the rest of the wall down. So let's go ahead and take these last couple of screws out. See what we're dealing with. Alright. Might need to get a bail on for this part. Just because I don't know what the temperament of the bees behind this is. So I'm going to run and just get a bail real quick. Better safe than sorry. Protect the money maker. There's the bees. Yeah. Bees. Okay. We've got a bunch on this board, so do this. Crawling up my shirt as well. I'm gonna let them march right up on this wall. Look for the queen. She's gonna be up here someplace. And she's in this mass of bees marching, and I need to find her. So, they're not too shitty. There she is right here. Ooh, then she went down, I think. She fell down. Don't run away. She's right there. I gotta find that queen clip. Open that crack. You can stand in the face, in the face. Don't go for a ride. Bring me on, there's a queen clip here somewhere. She's already tucked behind that wall again, isn't she? Where's she at? I don't know. buddy, I found her. So let's go ahead and get her. Get my twin clip. She popped down on this little piece of comb right here. See if we can find her again. See if you on the spotter, huh? She's a bee that looks like a little bit different than a regular bee. So there she is right there, too. Come on, don't stick closed, damn it. Get in there. Get in there. All right. Sorry about that. Didn't really get the catch. There she is. See her walking around. Ooh. All right. Now I'm going to talk about something that doesn't really get covered. Well, it does a little bit, but not really like I do it. It is framing up comb. You see I got rubber bands around this comb right here. And what's really important is that you get it framed up straight. So let's move this out of the way. Get this down there. Okay. So you look at this thing, and if you look, there's lines actually right in here. Like you see these two hatched out cells right there that are empty. Let me turn it sideways. Right here is lined up with that one. So that's a straight line coming across here. So come down here a little bit, and you see that this one and this one, you'll start to see that there is actually a straight line through this honeycomb. So it's about, staying in line with that one, it's about right here. You can just cut it into there. So lay your frame up there, see what kind of size you need. Make sure you got enough holding it on the top and the bottom, it helps. So let's take the top and square it out. You can see that on the top right here, these three cells are hatched out and they're pretty much in a line. So it looks crooked, but remember they build through gravity and everything. So just take that and cut it. Lay that down on there, and then you got your bottom line here, which should be pretty straight with the line that you had before. See, this is the line I drew. That's pretty much straight. Now you can get it in there, and you take rubber bands and go around the frame a couple times with them, and if they're not sun rotten from being in the sun, they'll actually go on there pretty good. And you can set it down on there, get the bands in, pop them around on this side. Remember which way was up and down because they are at an angle. So I'll see that here in a second, but I remember cutting it, so that's another important thing. Bees build this stuff so stuff doesn't fall out of it. So if you look down the side of the frame here, these honeycombs, you should be able to see more one way than you do the other. And by the looks of it, I might have it upside down. This is one way to check it. It takes an eye for things, especially see if it's upside down. You gotta always check. I think that is the way it was in the hive. So, put your rubber bands back on there. And that's pretty pretty much done. Now the bees will reattach this in the next couple days. And they'll chew these rubber bands out and kick them out the front of the hive. And that'll be that. Okay, and now you got to put your queen on one of these frames. So you pick a frame that has a little bit of space on it. I usually pick the best one. So I think this one's pretty straight, and it's got a little room right here, nice and straight. Take a couple rubber bands. Put 2 rubber bands around it. That one's a little bit loose. You can always put 3. You're gonna have to put 3. Oh, that one's rotten. You buy bags and bags and bags of them. Then you find an old bag and you find out it's rotten and you get to removal. So take that. And then put your queen right in there without disturbing all the bees. Let them, and just set her down, they'll find her again. And there she is in her little cage. Make sure the rubber bands are not squeezing this king, and make sure to double check in there that she's actually in there, because she will. Oh, there you go. She will kind of sneak out on you. Everything. I see her in there right now, so she's there. She's happy. She's actually right there. You can see her right there. There's a pretty good shot of her. So there she is. That's gonna be it for this one. Boom, got the queen, got the comb framed up, got the majority of the bees in the vac. I mean, of course there's bees flying all over this little barn that I'm in, but I'm gonna leave them until in the morning. Run over here after church real quick and get them. Get the rest of them. They'll all cluster right over here. I left a little bit of comb and stuff right there, so they'll cluster up there and I'll suck them up with the bee vac in the morning. So that's gonna about do it for this one. I might do a video where I set them up later on tonight if I have the gumption. I might as well. I'll put it in there. We'll go ahead and do that and go from there. Okay, well, it's the next day and we've got our box set up with our queen is on this frame with the 3 rubber bands right there. She's still doing good. A little bit of robbing going on, but we'll get that stuff figured out. See, there's a screen down there. This is the bottom of my bee vac, and that's a sliding thing there. I can pull that out. Just grab this, give it a good yank, and the bees can get over into the other part. Now, they can kind of run around. There's the tripod y'all sit on all the time. And, okay, I want to talk about safety and stuff like that. I've been doing this for a little while. I can read the situation on what's going on. Just because there's a lot of bees doesn't mean they're going to sting right away. And got one in my hair. So I wouldn't advise anybody who has bees in their wall to just go over there with a saw and start cutting them out without any kind of protection or anything. You know, be smart. The only reason I did that is because it was well over, I know it had to be 100 degrees yesterday. And Oh, this one's trying to sting me in the face. They are very angry when you let them out of the back. But don't try that. I never was 3 foot away from my bee suit. If something would have happened, I could have just threw it on and I'd have been fine. I took a few shots to the arms and stuff like that. I got stung. Maybe, I mean, most of it was underneath my arms, but you know, maybe it was sweating like crazy. Maybe it was 20 times, 30 times, something like that. So be smart about it. Don't do that unless you're 100% sure that the bees aren't going to sting you. Always have your equipment next to you if you want to do that. And but it's awesome doing it though. I mean, it was great. It wasn't hot, it wasn't sweaty. I could see, but it's hard to kind of see through the bee veil at times. And it was just great. So yeah, don't try this shit at home. You might get hurt. Hey everybody, real quick, gonna pop on here. If y'all like these videos and you like seeing stuff like this, subscribe, like, share, everything. It's not easy recording these during a cutout, especially. You know, sometimes it's hard to get this stuff on film, and you know, I enjoy doing it. I love every single bit of it, and so if y'all like it, dude, make sure to give it a thumbs up, man.